What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Drop a one in the comments if you can hear me. I want to make sure y'all can hear me before we get this thing kicked off. I came and brought the specialist of the hour, Dr. Dix. Hey, Dr. Dix, come on through, talk to everybody. But listen, you guys, on a serious note, we've been warning, we've been telling people, we've been trying to get people ready. Like, hey, changes are coming in the economy. We just saw 10,000 Amazon workers get laid off. We just saw some other tech folks get laid off. Now, Twitter, Elon Musk come through there, laying some folks off. Now, people say, oh, Eric, he's just doing that because he's changing house. Some of these companies learn how many people they needed to work with during the pandemic. How many can they really run a company with? Now, remote ain't going nowhere because a lot of these companies sneak by and hire diversity through remote work. And if we in Ohio and we can work for a California job and stay in Ohio, we gonna do it, okay? So listen, before we get this kicked off, I want everyone to say a warm welcome to Dr. Dix. Dr. Dix, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on the channel. This is Dr. Patrick Dix coming from South Carolina. I know I have some new followers on Instagram. You can reach out to me at the King of Automation, and some of my other contacts and links will be below the video. But I am here to continue to express and continue to tell people about automation. And I've been traveling over the United States and doing a lot of shows. We did one at Clark Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, and we went to Houston. I spoke at the National Black College Expo in Houston, Texas, and we have some other great things lined up. So here to continue to spread. I'm here again to spread the word about how you need to prepare for the future.
So, Dr. Dix, sometimes we talk to people, well, what are they credentials? Dr. Dix, tell them you've been teaching students for how many years now?
8 years, over 30,000 students, and I currently teach stutter. I currently teach at over about 10 different schools. So I teach undergrad, graduate, data science, computer science, database design. I teach Java programming, management information systems, and plus I've been around computers since I was 12 years old. So I'm late 30. So you're talking about 25 plus years of being around technology. And you can Google my name and you'll see the schools that come up. So everything I'm saying is truthful. So there's nothing fake about me. I have the receipts, as we call it.
Listen, Dr. Dick said he got the receipts. He's not some guy in the basement pulling up stats. He's actually in classrooms. He's actually on the front line of working with those issues. Now, listen, I'm going to share this article because sometimes they don't believe us, Dr. Dix. Now, what did you say? You said how many jobs were going to get replaced by automation?
We're probably talking about probably more than 50 million at this moment. That number is continuing to grow with people not wanting to work and with the influx of asking for higher minimum wages. But the numbers are going to continue to grow. As you were saying, companies are trying to downsize and do more without people. So it's only natural to switch to this.
So if you guys can actually see the article here I'm sharing, put a one in the comments. Can you see this? It's $25+ billion cleaning robot. It does floors, it does lawn, and it does pool and window, right? And people say, well, that's just not possible. Right now, they're already spending $9.8 billion in 2022 on the cleaning robot market, and it's expected to grow 21.5%. And it's going to be going to 25.9 billion in 2027. Now, they said, Dr. Dix, they said increasing requirements of cleaning robots in commercial section will grow. Technology investment from the vacuum cleaners, compact size, self-charging capabilities. Where do you think this is coming from? Because listen, even in this article, if you guys, I put all the articles in the description, they talk about these robots are being deployed in shopping malls, hospitals, business offices, hotels, airports, and industries for cleaning floors covering a large area. These robots require less human effort, thus reducing the cost of help. Similarly, hotels and other establishments with lawn or pool requirements will switch to automatic cleaning.
Well, one of the things about the robot is, in a hotel, if you have one floor with the same dimensions, you could program that one robot to clean the floor the same way. So if on the first floor of a 10-story hotel, they're all, let's say the rooms are about 500 square feet and the furniture is all in the same dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
that robot can go in and clean everything. And they have the virtual assistants. I don't know if you've seen them, Erica, like on the robot wheels that has like an iPad with a face on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those two. I went to the hotel in Atlanta, and you could have checked out. I think they had a kiosk over there. I can't remember correctly, but that is something that is definitely coming. Because when you go to hotels now, they only clean a certain amount of number of days because they don't have
Yep.
staff.
And they try to play it off like it's because of COVID. We want to be
Hmm.
safe. So, if you don't want us to come to your room today, just don't.
Yeah.
Just put a card out there. I'm like, And I'm very different than other people. I'd be like, I want my room clean every day. That's why I'm
Mhm.
here. So I don't have to clean this room. I'm not here to clean up. This ain't my room. So, or when they started, I noticed that when they started, we're trying to conserve water, save the environment. We only
Mhm.
want to wash the sheets once a week. Nah, come wash these sheets, man. Get on out of here with that. And so you're paying the same amount, y'all. This is the part that drives me crazy. You're
Mhm.
paying the same amount for the hotel, if not more, because we were out in San Diego. Now in 2019, I paid $219. Okay. Now it's like $500 for the same hotel, less cleaning, less clean sheets, less clean towels.
Yeah.
Y'all, if that ain't a I don't know what the word is, but that's a trick. And y'all letting them play that on y'all. So even now, in this article, it was talking about people prefer interacting with female robots in hotels. Isn't that
Hmm.
crazy, Dr. Dix? Even if it's not a person, they rather the voice be a female voice.
Yeah.
That y'all, we start to get like Japan. Japan's got
Hmm.
a huge elderly population. Now, Dr. Dix, what do you think this is coming from? Right? Why are they needing all these robots?
People don't want to work, and the world is just advancing faster. Well, did I think the world now has 7 or 8 billion people? I saw today. After all of the numbers were tallied up, and we have to think about people don't want to work. And here's another alarming statistic I share with my friends and people I know. Right now, they call them NILFs. We have 7 million men not in the workforce. That's for a whole different conversation. So if you have 7 million
You
men
already know.
not wanting to work, you have 7 million men that don't want to work, and then Gen Z is starting to drop off. A company cannot risk their hotel, it's safety and healthcare. So companies like to have big conferences. It's all coming from the top the CEOs, and it's coming from technology companies, and also your board of directors saying, what can we do to make sure these hotel rooms get clean? And it's also about consistency and cost effectiveness. Because you and I have talked about it. Companies will never, ever let what happened during the pandemic where production stops and things cannot be done. They're trying to make it to where regular people or employees do not have the power that they have right now, and they're slowly taking it back. So if you don't want to come to work, we'll just automate it, and that is the way that we're headed right now.
Oh man, listen, y'all. When you go to grocery store HEB, I be standing in them really long lines, mad as hell, because I'm like, I'm not about to swipe my groceries. I got a cart full. No, I don't work here. I'm standing here. Now, somebody said in the comment, y'all be cracking me up in these comments. Somebody said I work in AI consulting. Crystal Flex. There you go. It's there. Okay, so jump in that healthcare and IT. Yeah, somebody got to fix these things. Here's the thing. John said I don't let them clean the room, right? Angela said I do let them clean the room. Let me tell you something. Dana said, John, you better let them clean that room that first day. Who knows if they cleaned it before you? My thing is, how many days ago did they clean it? Because I have a family member who works in hotel management. They be rotating. They
Uh-huh.
be like, okay, these set of floors. Okay, these set of floors. It's automated. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know when's the last time they cleaned that thing. I don't remember
Well,
that.
when I get to a hotel, I just lay on the bed. I don't know if it's clean or not, but I'll look around. But I jump on the bed like a kid, turn all the water and the lights on. Yes,
Yes,
I do that, and
everything got to
because
work.
I everything got to work, and I don't know. That's a good question. I never thought about that. When was the last time it was cleaned?
Hmm.
I just jump on the bed or lay on the bed or whatnot. But that is a good question. But
Listen, the person I travel with, no, we about to Lysol this whole room to death. Get all the germs out. I mean, look, Dr. Dix, I'm telling you, the amount of I worked in food service. Now, I ain't working hotel industry, but I worked in food service, and I know how lazy people can be. These
Mm-hmm.
machines come in handy, especially when you watch these bartending shows, these shows where people aren't even cleaning the bar. They up there laughing and joking. These companies can't risk people not cleaning. That's that
Mm-hmm.
bare minimum. We're not about to get these negative stars because you won't come clean. Now, if you noticed, somebody said a can of Lysol stays on the deck. um, if you noticed, a lot of these places, the hallways, the Walmarts, the Targets, they have
Mm-hmm.
these machines kind of consistently cleaning the floor, consistently cleaning the floor. Because if you just notice people dirty,
Mm-hmm.
and if
Yep.
it's not consistently done, or even if you pay attention, you guys, maybe you've noticed it, like the Harmonies and a couple other people, you guys see I have a cleaning business commercial that comes on from our wonderful sponsors. But there's such a boom in cleaning companies because it's so hard to get people that are consistent to work. So people outsource it. Even the WeWork I've had, I've seen 4 different companies come through cleaning those offices. It's not
Mm-hmm.
somebody on staff, it's someone outsourced. They got a key. The key opens up all these different doors and they come in, they clean real quick, clean the bathroom, boom, gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why these cleaning companies are making so much money because we cannot get round the clock staff that are consistent.
Yeah, and that used to be a very profitable business. You know, you would have the big companies go around late at night and clean all the 10 and 12 story office buildings. But you know, with people now working from home, a lot of companies are getting rid of their brick and mortar locations. So eventually, office buildings, the way they have workers, they're going to just say, "Hey, everybody, put your trash can out here. The robot is going to come by and dump it. All you got to do is put it back in your cubicle or your office and put a bag back in it." And they say, "Hey, that's how we're going to do it. Any trash we put outside, the machine will go by and suck it up." And, you know, that's what we're really headed for. So people just have to be aware of this type of technology. And these types of devices will break. So for somebody out there, if you can figure out how these circuit boards and all of these sensors work on these things, it's definitely a good path and a good thing to a good trade to take up.
So this article right here from Protocol is like, what is it like to stay and work in an automated hotel? I will tell you, we went to a nice boutique hotel in near San Francisco. That's all I'm gonna say, near the bay. And the hotel had the little key fobs at all the doors. And that morning I got up, the guy went around with the little wand. It was, I would say, I would call it like this thick. I'm trying to think of something this thickish, right? Like this.
Yeah.
And he was resetting all the doors. And he said, "No, we're just doing, annual maintenance or whatever." And I'm like, "Annual maintenance?" And I knew, I was like, "That's something you have to do frequently. This ain't something you do once in a while." And this is a boutique with maybe 33 rooms, very small
Mm-hmm.
hotel. So even they are starting to get to the point where they have these automatic keys, these automatic doors. You're almost checking
Mm-hmm.
yourself in with your phone. We were in Las Vegas. They had a
Mm-hmm.
whole side that said, "This is a mobile check-in." People standing in line
Yep.
a long time, which they should. Yeah, just do the mobile check-in. Just hit the QR code, check yourself
Yep.
in. Now they're gonna make the money with the staff that can, you got the older people, they don't want to do QR code. You got young people don't want to go. They want to see if they can haggle and get an upgrade. That's not always gonna be
Mm-hmm.
there. They really trying to,
Mm-hmm.
force you towards check yourself in and get out of my face. Even Marriott has a what do you call it? It's like a check in with your phone, and if everything's straight, you
Yep.
can just go straight to your room with your phone.
Yep. That's
So
what's. Yep. You're gonna get to hotels and it's gonna be one person up there. It's gonna be like four kiosks, just like
mhm.
the airport, the where you rarely talk to people. You know, you do everything by your phone. That's one thing too about the airport. I mean, that's another form of technology. You know, you could talk about. I still see people, you know, checking in. You can mobile check in. You could check
Mhm.
your bag in. All you got to do is show your ID. It takes me sometimes maybe 9 minutes to check in because I got pre-check and I have clear. I mean, you can
Okay,
do
baller.
everything on your phone. I tell everybody, if you can afford pre-check or clear, it is the best thing because when we went to Houston, the line was like, I think it was maybe 50 people. They take you all the way to the front. It is like you check in 5 minutes. And I tell folks it's one of the best things ever.
Well, even in this is a hotel in New Orleans. Now you know it's wild when they doing it in New Orleans, where it's the home of
Mm-hmm.
hospitality.
Yep.
Long story short, it's a virtual concierge visible a cubicle monitor. Now they've got a Maker's Mark bourbon from the Hobby
Mm.
Law automatic booze dispenser. It will cost you
Yeah.
$5, but it will automatically give you a little booze bottle. If someone isn't there in person in the day to check you in, your IDs or anything with a special
Yeah.
card for the machine, you can't get it, right? Because they can't be just letting the minors get
Mm.
alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So again, this whole thing talked about all this the desire for contactless interactions during the pandemic accelerate the mission to make larger
Mm-hmm.
spaces and premium amenities accessible to guests without dealing with people, right? It y'all, I'm telling you, their companies are paying for this. And this is not a raggedy hotel. Look at the pictures of this hotel. Let me see if I make it bigger. Look at this hotel with the face on the monitor with the wheels. Can y'all see it?
Yep.
Let me know if I need to make it bigger. Can y'all see that woman?
The, yo, those things go around the offices now, like kind of like an assistant, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, they have people now that little. I've seen pictures and videos. It'll go around in the office, and people could do like a video conference and say, "Hey, I'm in here. I'm in my office. The robot will come to you." I
Y'all,
mean,
they ain't playing with y'all.
it's no,
Now,
y'all
now,
don't want to
Dr.
get a.
Dix, the reason I bring you on and we talk about this, the lady they even got doing the desk, they have 10-time full-time virtual concierge. Guess where they from?
Philippines.
Philippines. They in
Mm,
New Orleans where you can't get it any cheaper on the work. And they are
mm,
using people from the Philippines in New Orleans.
mm.
Man, they paying them people $6 an hour is what it says. Y'all, y'all gotta
I
pay attention.
I just don't think people are taking the world serious. You know, you can look at all these channels on YouTube. I'm gonna just say it, and I've said this to other people. Most of the channels 90% of the channels on YouTube are talking about nothing. And how our world is about to just really take off. You know, with the 2023, we're already in a recession. Financially, I looked at your last video. Rent and mortgages are not coming down. The price to live is about to get even higher. So you got to think about it. The price to live is getting higher. If you don't have a job, how are you going to afford it? My margin, not margin, I would say any city you go to live in, you probably need to have $2,000 minimally set aside just for rent or mortgage. I mean, I know somebody would say that's a high number, but you got to think about it. Where are you going to live in a nice neighborhood less than $2,000 or a mortgage with the rates as high as they are?
They going to Mexico and Panama. That's why you see all those
And
articles.
and the
Dr. Dix,
people
we for real. Listen, Panama's pensionado. You just got to show that you get $1,000 a month. That's all you got to show, and you get 30% off this, 30% off that. And people are like, well, that's fine. I'll go live overseas. That's where people are.
and the people in I forgot the town in Mexico, right near under San Diego. The people of Mexico are getting mad because all the Americans are coming, moving down there, causing the price of everything to go up. And what they do, they just go back. They just walk back across the border every morning, catch the bus to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the town. It's a town right below San Diego. This is going on right now. They said the
Tijuana.
Americans are moving. It might be Tijuana. I think it
Mm.
might be. But all the American people are moving down there. Say you make $180,000 in San Diego, you're like, man, I just sell my house and move to Tijuana and just walk back across the border every day. This prepare the an hour and 15 minutes, to get from my house to work and just go back to Tijuana.
This is what happens. Like, we're just being funny. I'm not making fun of South Carolina, but I got to. When I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, I was meeting people from Rock Hill and further, Greenville, South Carolina. I said, "You driving an hour for a $10 an hour job?" This is 2011, y'all. So people
Yeah.
gonna do it for Mexico too. They're gonna do it living in Panama. They're gonna do it anywhere else. There was a CNBC Make It. The boy was
Mm-hmm.
American. Listen, his parents crossed the border illegally, had him in America. Guess what this boy doing? He got a job for $12 an hour. And he went back to Mexico to live in an apartment. He's like, it's just so hard to live in America. Your two parents struggled illegally in America for 30 years for you to take your sorry butt back over there and be like, I can only find a job for $12 an hour. So again, people are choosing. They're
Yep.
choosing.
And in South Carolina, it's a county in a town called Allendale. It's like one of the it's pretty much the poorest county in the state. So what happens? The people in Allendale, Hilton Head, Hilton Head is a big
Yep.
tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So they would catch the bus. They did a documentary on this, or maybe ABC
Yep.
some years ago,
Real
where they
sad.
would catch the bus. They'll catch the bus for like $15 an hour, ride 2 hours all the way to Hilton Head, and then ride back. And you know, That was a couple of years ago. I don't know
They
how that
still
is
doing it.
going right now.
They still
Well,
doing it.
I
And
have.
the sad
Oh,
part is, um, we had family that lived on one of the islands, and when they went
hmm
there, the teacher was like, "Y'all way ahead of everybody. Where y'all from?" And they were like, "Not from here." They what problem they have in South Carolina right now is they've poorly educated a group of people, more than one group. So now you got all these people in South Carolina retiring. They need medical services, they need tech services, they need
hmm
help. They literally had to pull in, I think, 1 million people from Ohio and northern states with recruitment for teachers, nurses, surgical tech. You can learn how to be a
hmm
surgical tech in a year at the community college. And South Carolina
Yep.
had to pull all those people in. So again, they don't mind pulling somebody in from another state to replace you if you don't want to learn the skills. You're just gonna be one of them put
Yep.
on the bus. Your kids having to get
Um,
up in the dark without you and get on the bus to go ride an hour themselves somewhere. That's
yep.
crazy.
That's the thing. And where I live at, they closed one. They closed already one of the places that made like fan belts and stuff. So the thing I tell the people, and they could get mad, but I said, if you only have a high school diploma, what are you going to do now? Because if gas is $3 a gallon and you're only getting $14 an hour, can you afford to drive to Columbia, South Carolina? Can you afford to drive to Augusta, Georgia for a job? And then people will work like the shift jobs. You have to think about it. I'm going to do all of that work and I'm spending 2 hours a day on the road, 14 hours. I say, a lot of people have gotten killed driving back and forth to work like that because, you work that night shift and you get off
Mm-hmm.
in the morning and your body clock is messed up. So what I
Mm-hmm.
tell people is you have to think about, do you want to put your body through all of that, working hard? I mean, making money is hard. Making money is tough, but you got to think of an easier way to get it done because manual labor, whether people believe it or not, is slowly phasing out. This repetitive thing of hitting stuff, this is coming to an end. The world is going to be technologically based. And if you are not, the saying I leave people with, if your occupation is on my Instagram page, if your occupation is not helping move society forward, you are obsolete.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to really think about what you're doing because if you're not benefiting, if you don't have a service that people really need, just say pandemic 2.0 comes around, you have all the people that are entrepreneurs. And I ask people, do people really need that if they can't leave their house or they're worrying about keeping their lights on? Because everybody now wants to be an entrepreneur right now.
For the easy stuff. That's why you notice with the heart runners, the people that were teaching cleaning companies, they were making a killing because it's
Mm-hmm,
there are some people you'll meet them, they've been cleaning for 20, 30 years. They never thought of starting their own
mm-hmm.
company. They may do a few jobs off on their side for here and there, but mostly somebody tell them where to go, they'll go do it. Point blank,
Yep.
period. And so some in the middleman the millions course, when I taught it, that was part of the thing. I said there are some people, as long as you have jobs lined up for them, they'll be straight. They do have no desire to
Mm-hmm,
start their own company. And we
mm-hmm.
have people in our society like that. Um, y'all are quite funny in here. Y'all like, I'm gonna read some of these comments, Dr. Dix. I do not swipe my groceries either. I was at Walmart the other day and there were like two cashiers. I refuse to swipe my own prices. Somebody said I always bring Lysol spray and wipes when I go to hotels. Someone said, bring on the robots. Workers be on their phone like I'm interrupting them by making them do their job. And be check our hotel rooms, doc. I mean, it really do. It's kind of funny. You go somewhere and they literally be on their phone like, oh. And I'm like, baby, you had a $10 an hour job. You not doing medical care via the phone. You're not doing brain surgery. What are you doing? What are you doing on your phone? At least wait till you done take my order.
My sister this morning sent me a photo of a Subway vending machine.
Dang. Not the subway. I mean, again, y'all, you gonna understand. They said self check in and self service is a way because people don't know how to act. Increase violence against customer service workers. Mode, this is also a component. This is also true. Sometimes people don't know how to act. We do have a group of those people. Now, Dr. Dix, I think I don't know if you heard me, but we were talking. I talked to Nas and I talked to a couple other people. There are places where they're gonna have a very basic big old,
Mm-hmm,
like people will love talking about UBI and who's going to live in all these high rise apartments in some of these cities. The UBI folks, the elderly senior folks,
mm-hmm,
that's who's going to live in them. You're going to live over there, you ain't going to have a lot of parking, you ain't going to have a lot of amenities. Like that's what
mm-hmm.
those buildings are being made for, and people think I'm joking about this. Yeah, you got some fancy high rises, but you got a lot of these high rises that are very generic, very basic. And so that's where a lot of these people are going to go live and they don't even realize it.
No, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to live. I think you mentioned it too. you're gonna have generations of people living in one house. You know, people gonna try to get a 5 bedroom house, and you're gonna have maybe 7 or 8 people living in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, certain cities, I think you talked about it too. They're trying to prevent it now to where if you have an apartment, you can't have somebody in there unless they're your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend. Because you know, people will have a roommate. A lot of places now, when you sign a lease, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's basically if the person they're like, we don't mind. It'll say it like this in the lease. This when I worked, but even now, we don't mind you having wonderful family members and guests visiting. But if they stay more than 7 days, they need to be on the lease. Y'all mama can't even visit y'all for 7 days. If y'all have surgery and your mama need to stay for 2 weeks to help you with your surgery, now that the apartment complex like, well, ma'am, she need to be on the lease. And y'all, they not playing with y'all coming up. I used to have to walk around and do checks for pets.
Mhm.
Right, we didn't go into my apartment, but we looked at the window because how do we know if there was pets? The blinds be tore up, right? The cat in the window looking dead in the eye, looking at you, talk like what's up? Our manager came from the regional manager came one time here in Austin, and you know what he had? He had a dog whistle. We were like, what is it in his mouth? And he was blowing the dog whistle walking down the hallways so we
Uh-huh.
could hear which apartments the dogs start row, 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 freaking out, right? Because sometimes people put the dogs in cages while they at work, so don't tear the perimeter up.
Uh-huh.
But you can't stop the dog from barking. So
Mhm.
little technology stuff that's like we think is silly, they are going to be doing all the time. So, someone said this happened in Spain. They had to scan their passport and it checked you in. Dana Dane said in DC the minimum is 2,600 a month without assistance. Ooh,
Mm.
man.
Mm. That probably is not even a good neighborhood.
In DC? Probably not. Probably not. Terry the electrician said, well, I guess I'll be learning how to fix robots. Terry, listen, anybody that learns how to fix something, they always will have money. Some of these
Yeah.
companies, some of these restaurants, they're going to buy some kind of robot. It tore up second week. They can't afford the real fix. They need the bootleg fix. They're going to call people.
And I want, you know, they pushing the electric car thing. You know what somebody could do? This is an idea that just came to me. Go buy 70 acres of land and say, hey, I'm gonna get it government, I'm gonna get the government requirements to say this is a lithium battery junkyard.
Yep.
Because you know, all those batteries out those cars gotta go someplace.
Man,
So
listen.
that's
Lots of good ideas on and solutions on how to guys to get yourself prepared. Troy Glover said the Midlands in South Carolina is a dead zone. I live in Port Royal, South Carolina, near Paris Island,
mhm,
where the Marines be. Yes, a lot of
yeah.
Ohio moved down here. Yeah, I noticed y'all were so mad about that. Y'all had them stickers talking about "Go home, Ohio." I knew that's what it
Yeah.
was. I was at the farmers market in Charleston. And this guy, he did not look like he belonged there. I said, "Hey, where you from?" Ohio. I said, "I already knew." He already selling his wares. Okay, so y'all can't stop these people.
Yep.
The
It's
uh-huh.
it's just the world that's you know, you have to prepare for it. And we're trying to do. I mean, Erica and I, we're trying to forewarn y'all. I mean, all you got to do is get on the internet and read your stuff. I just put in the chat about the article about the Subway vending machine.
Mm-hmm.
Subway is starting to looking to sell sandwiches in a machine. So you know what that means, right? They're gonna have 3 workers, just like
Yep.
the hot and ready pizzas in Little
Little
Caesars.
Caesars, Little Caesars.
Yeah, they're gonna have 3 workers in there that make sandwiches. So that way they're gonna have 3 machines in there and say, hey, you can get you can get a sub out the machine or a pre-made salad. That way they don't have to deal with anybody. And the only reason they'll have multiple people come in is to make like the big platters or the subs for
Mm-hmm.
parties. But yeah, that's how Subway is gonna go. So you're gonna, you know what? So you're gonna have like a Krispy Kreme. You know how they sell Krispy Kreme donuts in a gas station.
Yep.
Subway is gonna start to say, hey, we'll bring Subway to you. Put it in a vending machine.
Look,
Saran wrapping.
listen. Someone said I make 85K right now as a dedicated truck driver. I'm home every other night. Listen, you saw Walmart offered to pay y'all 100K just to get them truckers out. I mean, at the end of the day, people with skills will be just fine. Just being honest.
Well, well, I know Professor Cutie Pie. They're going to work on how not to make the sub soggy. You know, they might make it to where it's just the bread and the cheese and the condiments and stuff like tomatoes and stuff is in something else. But yeah, that is a good suggestion. But yeah, they're going to sell this stuff. I mean, if you keep looking everywhere I go to every grocery store is more self checkout aisles. They're making it to
Hmm.
where you don't have to really deal with people. Period. I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
So this is what it said. Tyson Foods CEO Donnie King said the company is eliminating laborious, difficult, high turnover jobs on the company's quarterly earnings call Monday. Now, did y'all remember the show where I came and brought y'all and I put it in the community chat how they checked one of those factories in Alabama, South Carolina, and it was a teenager, 12, 13-year-old Hispanic boy called 911, and it was a bunch of
Mm,
teenagers in there working. This is the
mm.
result. They said, oh crap, they called us. So they already said the meat giant is seeing quicker than anticipated progression of automation efforts. Workers whose jobs are cut will be reassigned to other positions in the company. I mean, you will get up out of here. That's what it really
Yeah,
means.
there's no and working in a chicken processing plant is very dangerous. You know,
Very.
this you could get your fingers cut off. There are a lot of injuries. So what they'll say is we could just have people handle the packaging and let machines do it, and that way it's a consistent cut. And what do y'all know? A lot of people don't know. You know, a lot of chicken places like that. Anything. I remember I went to a beef place where they kill cows. The
Mm-hmm.
USDA is standing over them every second of not every second. The sanitation and the health and the safety measures that have to be put in place just to make sure there's no salmonella. So what they'll say, hey, we'll just automate it, take the people out of it, prevent cross contamination. Because Erica, that kills a company when they got to get rid of about a ton of meat or 5 tons of meat. They got to go out there and find out where did it come from.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then you see what happened at Walmart. Walmart be having glitches, stuff tore up, everything tainted, got to toss it. Now there's a thing on the right hand side of this article if you guys see it, and this is why I told y'all this. I'll be dropping little hints. I don't know if y'all pick it up. Why I really wanted a blueberry farm in North Carolina. People were like, "Oh, Erica, blueberries are key for manufactured food sales." Y'all don't. There's a thing called Plimican. Plimico. I might be saying a little bit wrong. It's a way they extend food life. It goes into a
Mm-hmm.
lot of. I'm trying not to give too much, but if you mix blueberry and meats together in a certain kind of moisture texture, that food can last a really long time. So there's things that are they're dropping hints. We need stuff that preserve food. We need stuff that makes food last longer. Blueberries. They'll look it up. But you already see when I drop these things, y'all, when I drop these articles, please go click these articles. Because if you want to learn about anything food, the future of work, it's in here. That's a
Mm-hmm.
whole webinar they got tomorrow talking about blueberries. Trust me, there's a reason. There's a reason. Let me see here. And why would you need to make stuff last longer? Because you're gonna be having stuff on the food, on the walls, and the vending machines, and everything else. So let me see, where is it
Mm-hmm.
at? Where's my other one? So just little stuff I'll be bringing in here, y'all. I want y'all to check it out for yourself. Like this is the thing. We can never say they didn't tell us because they put it right here on the internet, like easy access, Googleable. Like they are letting you even hear these calls. Right? The Tyson food is trying to blame the reason they're doing this on, well, their CEO got drunk and arrested in Arkansas cutting up. Nah, this is because y'all got caught on them young people working in that factory in Alabama. Right? So they're trying to play it off like, oh, it's because of this. No, no, no. Pay attention. Robotics secures $72 million to automate legacy fulfillment centers. What are those? All them Amazon stores. Look on the right hand side. Do
Yep.
y'all see these arms? These Amazon
Mm-hmm.
stores, these packaging places. You know how many black men I meet in Dallas work at warehouses? Because warehouse is a very coveted job in Dallas, manufacturing, because that's where most of the manufacturing left the Midwest and came to. But pay attention,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. They about to get y'all out of there.
And I posted it on my LinkedIn page. You know, if y'all want to get on my connect with me on LinkedIn, it's Dr. Patrick Dix. Erica,
Mm-hmm.
you liked it. I posted where Walmart is converting 25 of their distribution centers. You already did one.
Mm-hmm.
So Walmart is even getting in on this, people. So,
Let's see if I can pull your link. Go ahead.
basically the days of doing minimalistic work for a great minimum, doing the minimum, getting the most are over. You're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to shortchange and cheat the game. You're not going to do a little bit of work saying, hey, I'm going to get ahead of the people that actually went to school and did what they're supposed to do. No, that doesn't work. A lot of people, you're going to have some kind of skill set to make it in the future. Moving boxes, driving a forklift. On my Instagram page, there's a video of a robotic forklift. The guy said, this thing here is to replace me. So the days of not doing anything, getting paid are over. Thinking you're gonna weave and sandal it up, as O'Shea said. I said, nah, you're not. You can't do it anymore. you know, thotting it up as we call it, taking Instagram pics. No.
So here it is. Dr. Patrick Dix. Education technology. Y'all, again, if somebody tells me they're serious about making 100K a year or making money and they don't have a LinkedIn, I'll be like, okay. I just go, okay. Because I already know they ain't serious about it. So Dr. Dix right here, y'all see his page. He's got a lot of stuff he's posting here. Okay. All the career, all that. Y'all can check that. Check his receipts, he said, okay? But you posted it under your, where's that at room? Hold on. Boom. You got it under here somewhere. But Dr.
Yeah,
Bix out
keep
here
going
talking
to
about the future of work. Look at him.
yeah, that's where I spoke at Clark Atlanta University right there a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I did. That's a podcast on like 2 years ago. I did, and I'm even talking to the Hispanic community about their minorities, how they're going to lose jobs.
Oh, yeah. Listen. But that's the thing. It's different when you already own your house. It's different when you got a lot, you know what I mean? Or here it is. Sorry, post. Waiting for it to come up. There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that hair, y'all. Dr. Dix with his new hair. I told him he got to be careful. People think he got a man piece on. Can't just show up with new
yeah,
hair.
I got a lace front.
So yeah, so y'all
Yeah.
check. I mean, let's again check this out. Be in the space. Be in the space, y'all. Okay, let me see. Y'all got some comments in here. Sorry. I'm trying to get my little brother in tech sales because he works at post office and hates it. But my parents who are on the cusp of boomers are telling me to stop because UPS is a good job. Again, your parents will give you instructions for life that may not work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm at the post office by UPS and I'm tired of Becky and Susie and all them hollering and cutting up in the back, not sending packages through, not doing what they need to do, I'm gonna go find somewhere else to be. That's just that. I'm gonna find somewhere else to be.
Yeah,
Look, oh, here we
my
go.
parent.
Mm-hmm. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you found the article?
No,
My
no, go ahead.
parents, my parents were baby boomers, and I could tell. I'll say to many people, my parents could not have made it in this society. You know, my parents are past, right? They're deceased, but there's the article right there.
Yeah.
You could click on it. Yep. And many people, they cannot make it. I mean, like you were saying, older people giving all this advice, it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
anymore. You know, being quiet on a job, not talking about religion and politics, you can't work on a job and not talk about that stuff anymore. You have to be visible and you have to talk about this kind of stuff. So being silent doesn't get it done anymore.
And
That's how
y'all,
you
this
get
is a
fired.
great site right here, by the way. Thank you, Dr. Richard. This is called Freightways. If and here's the thing, I think a lot of people once they start getting into transportation, truck driving, they could see the money moving around, but they couldn't figure out how to access all of it. And you guys need to be reading these articles and sharing it with your uncles and cousins that drive trucks. Freightways got it be on the tip of the spear when something going down. So Walmart turns Texas DC into high tech facility. Adaptation of automation. Look at that. You know how many men were probably on all them bays and arms? Not no more. This is in Palestine, Texas, where it's already kind of a little porter. On Wednesday, they gathered at the 1.2 square million square foot facility makeover. Now think about that. They've been a pillar of that community for 42 years. And now suddenly they like, we about to turn this whole building up. So think about all the people in town talking about, oh, you can always go work at the Walmart. You can go work at this place. You can go work at the fulfillment center. No, you can't. No, you can't. That job gone. Do you understand how that happens? Can y'all see that fulfillment center? 42 years they've been in that community. And now that's a wrap. So again, put your head down, be quiet, just show up. That don't work no more. You can
No, it
go to
doesn't.
any company's website and look at their annual reports and see how it spends money. Facts on facts. This sounds like Erica W. Oh, it is Erica. Glad to see you back. Thank you, D, for the super chat. Yes, I'm back
Yeah,
for the Christmas season.
and you know, they're if you read the article, they're doing it at 25 more facilities too. So 25 more distribution centers. They have one
Mhm.
close to here in Lawrence, South Carolina, near like up near Greenville. They have a big distribution center. And they just built an Amazon outside. It's in what part? I'm close to Augusta. It's
Mhm.
they built this big Amazon facility out there, fulfillment center. And you know, people were oohing and on over $14 an hour. Well, they're about to lay off 11,000 people.
Yeah. Well, and you see how they act towards the port. Somebody's like, "Oh, Savannah's got all the money, the ports." I said, "Do you know how many port jobs they've gotten rid of over the years?" The ports used to be a place where buses came and dropped hundreds of men off every day, just doing all kind of random pushing and pulling, and they don't. That doesn't exist anymore. James Stokes said, "I went
Mm-hmm.
to a truck stop. Subway had sandwiches already made to buy." Good gracious! I've been talking about these robots for years. Skill up, people. Dr. Dick knows what he's talking about. That event he spoke at in Raleigh got us more funding for our STEM program. Wow.
Yeah, that was back in
Okay.
June. June.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I just go around talking about it, and we have some other things planned that we're that are going to be released. But this is, to me personally, since I did my dissertation on it, this is very scary. There are a lot of things I do that could be automated, and I
Mm-hmm.
stay ahead. But I think about the people that are not really preparing, like, oh, that ain't gonna happen. I've had people, I've messaged in on LinkedIn that actually wrote back with laughter, like that's not gonna happen. And I always tell people minorities and women are going to be affected the most by automation. Every group is going to feel it, but minorities and women are going to feel it the hardest. So if y'all don't believe me, just
Telling y'all.
Google automation affecting women and minorities. So a lot of people, let's just say it's almost 2023. I
Mm-hmm.
would I would I would bet somebody a lot of money. I said in 2030, by the next presidential, by 2028, not 2024. I said I bet this world will look completely different in 6 years. Many people are going to be sitting at home and thinking there's going to be some government subsidy that's going to save them. Not happening anymore. Uncle Joe, as I call him, and
No,
the
not
Trump
Uncle Joe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe, and the Trump administration, they sent all the money they can. That's why inflation's high. They got to get the money. They have to get the money back, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no more money for people.
This is what I tell people. I want you to pay attention. There's there's multiple levels in the economy. So let me before I say what I want to say, but pay attention. The airplanes are still full. The buses are still full. The malls are still full. The travel is still banging. The hotel's full. Now you'll get on some of these Facebook timelines. Oh my God, everybody I know is broken. We can't get access to food. Baby Joe ain't got no Pampers, and
Mm-mm.
I'll go look on my timeline and be like, half my timeline is on vacation. Half my
Yep.
timeline works in tech, and so what happens? We tend to go. Well, my group of friends ain't impacted, so I don't know what y'all talking about. And that's what's happening in America right now. We don't associate with each other enough to be like, oh, you ain't got a job? How'd that happen? That's why I tell you, I meet people here in Austin, Texas, black. Austin, Texas, ACC for the past 10 years I've been here has been giving free network administrator degrees at ACC. I've been saying this forever. We even had
Mm-hmm.
3 people from New York move down here. They didn't tell me they moved down here because I'd have fussed at them. They told me after they got their degree. Thank you for not telling. Cause I'm like, what you doing? Move down here for the free degree. There are people I meet here in Austin, black people, who are like, man, it just ain't no jobs. And we look at them like, what are you talking? What are you living in another Austin? They have hiring signs everywhere. They asking for tech job entry level. They'll train you. This is what is happening. You look around the people around you, and you start, oh yeah, women is bad, and the economy is bad, and everybody on your timeline crying, and then you go to the other side of town, everybody living great. You go 2 neighborhoods
Yep.
over, it's a different conversation. That's why when they had these people during the pandemic, they just told y'all to go home and educate your children. People were like, wait a minute, I have to work. I can't be here with my babies every day. And people were shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say, white people I ran into, white women who are like, well, they shouldn't. These moms can just work from home. Every mom can't work from home. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
why when I tell you this automation gonna take a lot of these women, y'all gonna be at home. You better hope JoJo and whoever you with is helping you pay them bills, or you have something that helps you make income full time. So you got to figure it out.
Yes.
Some kind of skill, something. You see Chick-fil-A, they put the jobs out for you work 14-hour shifts 3 days a week, and that's it. You're off
Yep.
the rest of the time. And they
Yep.
had over 500 people apply at one Chick-fil-A for those positions only.
Yep. I saw that. That guy said he had a hard time hiring people, and they said the franchise owner said the Chick-fil-A said they're going to take that and see if they can duplicate it because he couldn't find nobody to work, and they showed pictures of he had mostly kids or whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
they look happy saying, "Hey, I'll have the rest of the weekend off." But the thing is, a lot of people in America want to have fun and don't have no money. You can't do what other people can do. And I tell people it's all about delayed gratification. You have to work hard. It's taken me 20 years to get to where I'm at. Yes, when I was going to school, people were partying. This is the middle 2000s where wearing, white tee and all that, Erica,
Mm-hmm.
listen to the Franchise Boys, Flow the Rims, all that crap was out. I
2000s.
had my head, I had my head in a book, and I look at all those people now. They don't have any life skills. They have no job skills. They don't have any social skills. Everybody can't work from home. You can't demand $150,000. And I ask anyone, what kind of skill set do you have? What kind of skill set do you have to ask for that kind of money? Well, I should be due to it because I should be due to it. No, it doesn't work
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
in my 40s now. I'm due to it. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
No,
I mean, you literally
no.
listen, y'all. I'm gonna just I'm gonna tell you like this. We were at a conference where you're supposed to speak to people, and people are still in there struggling to talk to people. So you got to realize you have a lot of people struggling in social skills, struggling to connect. That's why these schools still got people going to school. They don't know how to do it. He said, Subway, they have Subway automation machines slated to go into colleges, campuses, and work shifts. Yeah. She'll read the business grants and business plans. Amazon is cutting 10,000 white collar workers, and that's all the media is talking about. While these warehouse jobs are going and barely a peep in the media. Exactly. That's why I keep
Mm-hmm.
I keep trying to tell y'all the people in a certain bracket. I'm gonna save that for my other show, but I'll put it to you like this: I'm gonna do another show called Ladder Up Income, the updated version 2022 from the book when I did the book. When people said, "Oh yeah, these workers that move from California to Ohio and Indiana and these small towns, when they lose their tech job, they're gonna want to move back." No, they're not. I'm
Mm-mm.
meeting people today, Dr. Dix, have bought 2 or 3 houses, renting houses out. They've taken $150,000 and put it in a 15% dividend stock. That's gonna pay them 22,000 a year. Dr. Dix, they took that money off the equity off the house. So
Mm-hmm.
these people that are in some of these tech jobs, they're smart enough to know I make more money than most people. All I got to do is take this money and do 1 or 2 moves, and I can stay in this little small town. My wife can still stay home. Mortgage gonna be
Yep.
paid, and I can go work a different tech job, even if it pays less. This
Yep.
is the power of skills.
Yeah, you gotta be and critical and thinking critically. In the state of South Carolina, I saw today, they're giving everybody a rebate. Anybody on the chat, you can check and see if you're eligible for the rebate. The IRS has not gave back a bunch of money. You got to look on your 1040. I look, I don't know what I'm eligible for, but we have people waiting on stuff like that. The reason I brought that up is because people say, "Oh, it's free money. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with the amount of money I get?" It's November 15th. You got people now thinking 2 or 3 months from now, it's going to be tax time. I'm going to be able to get my
Listen,
$20,000. No, I'm like,
yeah,
that ain't a lot of money. That's not a lot of money.
it is because they
If
gon'
you
they gonna buy a bunch of meat in the deep freezer and chill out all summer making cookouts. And then when August come back around, guess what they're gonna say, Doctor? My babies need clothes. They need haircuts and backpacks. It's the same play every year. We see it. It's the same play. Hold on, okay. Now let me see. Mr. Fantastic said 2000 was the best club era ever. Uh, Dana Day said the best. FedEx Freight laying people off as well. 175,000 job loss. What do you think about career in cloud management or cloud computing? Thank you for the super chat. Thoughts, Dr. Dix?
um I recommend it. I teach a class in that. Cloud computing is pretty much the future. You can learn about SaaS, software as a system, platform as a system. There's three of them. There's another one too. Cloud computing is pretty much the way the world is going because, well, not the way the world is going. It's going to be a vital part because you have to give access to everyone from a virtual server. The reason cloud computing is big, y'all, I want everybody just to think about Hurricane Nicole. If many of those companies did not have cloud computing or at least a virtual server, pretty much the companies would be out of commission until they were able to get something else started up. It's called disaster recovery and incident response. So cloud
Say it
computing is a
again
great
slow.
field to go into.
Disaster recovery and
And
incidents
incident
response.
response. Yeah, that's very big in technology. A lot of companies, just think about when the first hurricane came through. We're going to use the banking system as an example.
Mm-hmm.
The companies, they had to have cloud computing, virtual servers. Basically, a banking system works like it queues all the transactions. So a lot of people think, oh, PNC down in Florida, their headquarters, the hurricane is coming through their money. I said, no, they already got people doing incident recovery, disaster recovery. They all the way ahead of that, saying we can shift all the transactions to another part of the United States. So this bank can continue to make money and process transactions. It might queue it for a couple of days, but the money is going to come out the account.
Oh,
So
they
yeah,
got your money, baby. They got that. When the storm cloud said the corn was coming that way, they already moved that money.
yeah, I just did a lecture on that last night, incident response and disaster recovery. That is a very, very important thing in any kind of organization or tech market. I tell anyone too, you could come through and draw, you can come to a company or sell the blueprints on how this stuff should work. It is amazing me as I move up in my career, people really don't have the basic knowledge of stuff. And what you do to them seems so sophisticated when all I did was go research it or Google it.
Yeah.
I, I mean, it's just going out there taking a playing around with it. Like, let me try something else. How about I just pick the phone up and just ask somebody? And
People don't know
it
how to
is just
research.
amazing.
People don't know how to
Yeah.
research. They don't know how to research. This is why salespeople, whether y'all want to hear it or not, tech salespeople make sense. Why? Because they're calling a busy business owner who's struggling to hire, struggling to keep people at work. And here's this system I have that can help you. Here's this thing I can give you, help you a lot. Right? That's those jobs will always make money. That's a good career.
Um, yeah, anybody like, and I know somebody will argue me. If you were in human resources, I would be very scared. Much of the human resources stuff is automated.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the schools I teach for, they have Paycom to where you upload your own documents. You do your own W-4s, you do your I-9 and all that stuff. And a lot of that stuff is automated. Compliance is just making sure everything meets. We can design something to where it meets. Those jobs to where people just walked around in suits and dresses all day saying I do HR, man, I'm telling folks, you
Giving
see,
people the
oh, on my link,
tests. I give them tests.
yep,
I'm asking people how they feel today. I'm doing a
yep,
wellness test today. Everybody, come to the office for the potluck. At Dale a couple years ago before the pandemic, they had a girl who all she did, her job was social coordinator. She created events for people at work to go to. That's it. So even the HR person ain't even responsible for that no more. Right? So you got to
mm-hmm,
realize some of these, if you can go online and says, "Do you need an HR person for $99? What is it, 99 a month?" Look at some of this stuff. QuickBooks is doing it. Again, QuickBooks
yep,
was so smart. QuickBooks was like, and Duke Taxes. That's how he made his rise. He went on QuickBooks, trained to free training, and now when he qualified, they would send QuickBooks clients because they have so many of them to him to answer their
mm-hmm.
calls on the QuickBooks where they were struggling. That's a whole system. Like QuickBooks just made their own staff that they didn't have to pay. Like, hey, we're gonna send you these clients, and if you want to, you're gonna get X amount of dollars, and then you can actually transition these clients into people that you work with full time. Why? Because by the time you've helped them with their QuickBooks, they still don't know a lot of stuff. They still gonna need somebody to do their taxes. They still gonna need somebody helping with their bookkeeping.
And another thing on my not my Twitter, on my LinkedIn timeline, guess all the people I see losing their jobs from Twitter. Most of the people are recruiters. I've said that before on numerous shows. We don't need to pay you to go recruit somebody when we can have software that does it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to pay you $140,000 a year to be a technology recruiter? Why? I would ask anyone, what's the justification when an algorithm, all I got to do is say, hey, look for BS in the code, BS in IT, computer science, or look for a master's, any tech forward the resume. And they'll say, you need somebody to set up the interviews. Not necessarily the software could do that. It'll send everything out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really, we might need a second pair of eyes to do stuff. But a lot of people could sit here and argue with me. I said, man, they don't need a lot of people to do a lot of things. People got paid for, I just said this earlier, walked around in their suits and dresses and thought they were the shit. Those days are over. If you are really not using analytical skills or using technical skills on the job, we don't really need you.
And
I mean,
they'll
just think,
outsource it. That's what
yep,
the rise of all these consultants. It was people who used to formerly work as an HR person, come in, consult for a few hours a month, do the same job
yep,
for a few hours a month.
yep,
Accountants, right? Accountants literally sometimes I was looking on Austin, Texas, right? And I thought accountants only make 74,000 a year. Yeah, that's if you work at one small office, but one accountant can work at three different offices, literally doing
Mm-hmm.
the books, doing the bookkeeping. So again, even accountants have been morphed into, okay, you want to make big money, you got to go work at big accounting firms. But if not, if you work at these small offices where you're going to come 2-3 days a week, make sure payroll gets out, maybe 2 days a week to make sure payroll is correct and the books are correct, so the person doesn't have to worry about tax issues. You're only gonna be there 2 days a week. They're gonna pay you about 50K. Because you can
Mm-hmm.
look this up on Indeed.com. I'm not making this stuff up. You guys can go look at part-time accounting and you'll make about
Mm-hmm.
50K a year. So imagine if that person does 1 to 2 days a week at one job and 1 to 2 days a week at a different other job. That's how they get their six figures. And they're an accountant. So
Mm-hmm.
now they've got to be smart about, okay, let me put this money X amount of places, or let me do taxes in the spring so I make the money. Because as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
Credit Irene even was selling her tax course, and it was like, you don't have to be licensed and educated in these levels of tax preparation. But that's it. People don't want to do bare minimum basics on anything. So again, Angela Presley said, "This is age old. City folks with their big pockets moved south and suck up the real estate. Many of my aunts and uncles did it, yeah, or they inherited the house down south, came south, all that. Who is going to
Yep.
solve the personal issues if HR goes away? That's just it. Companies aren't playing that. You're more likely to get fired than you are for them to resolve issues. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I'm just
Because
being honest.
yeah, because compliance, they all say, well, we need to hire people for compliance. We can write compliance, they can write
Mm-hmm.
a code and they can write some software to see if it matches up. Well, go through this protocol to see if they need to be fired. They're trying to have humans think less, because I have this saying to people, and I'm joking, when you think, you sink. As y'all notice, the more people think, the more problems they create. So they're trying to make it to where people don't think that much, the way you click a button and we're going to tell you what to do. Go to this the company will say, go to the website, have they committed this, have they committed that, have they committed that, if not, fire
Yep.
them, bam. And they'll have
Mm-hmm.
two people to handle that. Why we need 10 people in compliance? Well, what if the government sends down new stuff? It's all on a server. It comes
Mm-hmm.
down and we see if it matches up. People don't realize this stuff is going to get faster and faster and faster and faster. And one of the scary things I'm trying to tell people is the education system is going to get outsourced. So you're going to have a kid. Eventually, they're going to go to a school 4-day school week. I can see it coming. They've
Oh yeah,
got
it's
companies
coming.
out there.
It's
You're going
coming.
to have a teacher. You're going to have a teacher in New York teaching a kid down in South Carolina, and how they're going to do it? They just reciprocate my teaching license. I mean, if you were like teaching a school, like a high school, because we don't have enough teachers. So private school, blah, I can't get it out. Education is about to be privatized.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all be careful. Make sure if you don't make enough money, you listen to us and see how to get your money up. You're gonna have to homeschool your kid if you qualify, to put them in a ritzy private school, because the education system is about to be privatized and it's going to the highest bidder that can pretty much do what they can.
I tell people, where in any other country in the world are they sending a school bus in the middle of nowhere to get your kid and bring them
Yeah,
to a building? In South Carolina, they're still busing kids from the island at 6 o'clock
yeah,
in the morning all the way into Charleston. On the kids ride the bus.
yeah.
And it's them same parents on the island that go work in tourism. So they riding the bus. So everybody's riding the bus for hours to live in the cheaper part of the islands, which ain't really that cheap no more.
Well, people don't realize riding the bus is a privilege, it's not a right, because you'll hear people say they got to come get my kid. I
No,
don't
they
know.
don't.
I know no, they don't. I know everybody I don't know if everybody on here can remember. Remember we had the recession in 08 or 09 and they cut out certain school bus routes? They said, no, diesel fuel like $4 a gallon. This is 2008 or 9. You would see it on TV. They're like, no, we're not about to come 20 miles and get your kid. Because what people don't realize is, for that school bus driver to get all those kids, they got to get up about 2 in the morning, get that bus nice and warm, and they got to spend about 2 hours driving. They got to get up at 3, get the bus warm. That means all those kids got to be to school by 6:30 so they can eat breakfast.
Yep.
People don't realize the logistics that's involved, and they got to pre-plan the route to say, if this person is late, I got to go. If they're not here, they say that route will make me to where all the kids are late, and God forbid kids are late. The parents going to get hysterical. So what's going to happen? Like I see Mr. Leisure said, my friend of mine is starting an online school. You're going to have people start online schools. You're going to have
Mm-hmm.
people start private schools. But education is going to be privatized. Education to me personally really needs to be 50-50, 50% blue collar, 50% white collar, because most kids are not learning anything anyway. School is pretty much an adult daycare right now.
All things Daddy said, I'm taking a QuickBooks bookkeeping class now. I found a free program. A majority of big black tech workers work in HR. I would not even disagree. I've actually noticed that when I go on LinkedIn, there's a lot of HR folks, as you even saw when we brought on Sub-Zero. His one of his classroom teachers worked as a recruiter, saw how much money was being made, was like, let me switch my job because there's just more money. What would be a good transition into tech for someone who works in HR?
It depends on your skill set. It depends on what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody that goes into tech is not an easy route. This is how I tell everyone, if you have good analytical and good technical skills and you can read, like a procedure or read directions, I would probably start off something like data analytics or data science. But the good thing to do is to learn to go to a tech school to learn about tech. What's the purpose of it? Because you just can't jump into computer science when you don't even know what computer science is. Because it's zeros and ones, which is binary, but a lot of people don't even know that. You have to learn from the foundation, and then that way you can say, I could do networking, cloud computing, design, consulting, etc.
Yeah,
And
for a journey for Jasmine. Everything can't be automated overseas because consumers will fight back. I hate talking to former customer service, and that's why they started switching over to customer service call centers in Mexico. You guys know we can start our own call centers. I mean, there's a girl I'm trying to bring her onto the channel. I'll see if it will get that paperwork done, but she created her own call center because so many people want to work from home in America and will work for $9 to $11 an hour if they can work from home. They'll do it.
wow.
John was napping. Yes, ma'am. Contract multiple firms doing accounting. Yes, Brandy, I'm telling you, there's so many. If you look up, there's so many companies that need just somebody once a week, twice a week. They really need help, and that's the thing I always see. Didn't Facebook and Twitter just call for layoffs? Speaking of tech, see T. Wilson,
Yep.
but what positions? There's over I think 2.5 million open tech jobs right now. So you lay off 10,000 people at Amazon, so what? They're gonna transition and move around. That's the difference. That's the difference.
And like you said, some people during the pandemic was working 2 jobs.
Oh yeah, they were over
At
two,
one,
3 jobs, getting over with on it. But think about this: if the Walmart distribution center switches over to robots, who do you think is gonna have a harder time? Old boy hitting the computer keys that can work anywhere in the world, or the guy who works in that factory? He's gonna have to drive somewhere now and find another factory job.
yep, yep. That's the guy punching the keys is the one making all the money. The dude doing the manual labor, looking at the screen. And many of those people that work in the factories could actually do the job. They just don't want to take the first step. I encouraged them. I said, you work here, you know how everything works. Just go to school to learn how this stuff works more, get you a degree. And somebody posted a comment, which is a good comment, that everybody is going to have a degree. Yes, I highly recommend not only getting certs, but get a bachelor's degree too. Eventually, job applications, we can listen to all the stuff in the world you want to. From my experience, the immigrants that I teach that come over on F1 visas already have bachelor's degrees, and they already work at Amazon as software engineers. So eventually in the tech field, depending on what you're doing, depending on what you want to do, you're going to have a master's degree. There is no way to get around it. Even if you get it now and don't need it, it's best to have it in your back pocket. But I highly recommend everybody, while you have time on your hands, if you do, get all the education and certifications. The good thing is you have them. So don't worry about using them if you can't use them right now. Get your company. You mentioned this, Erica. Get your company. Read
They
your
pay you.
read your company's human resource manual. The company has to write off some kind of tax stuff and say, hey, I want to go get a certification. Well, would it help make your job better? Yeah, well, we'll pay for it. Go to a conference or something. But a lot of people don't
Even
go.
Subway has
It's
that. Subway, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, all these places pay for these kids to go to school, give them reimbursement checks and everything. Ray Alexander, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, tech apprenticeship at NC State University. Artificial Intelligence Academy with a $6 million grant from the U.S. Department of Labor. Classroom plus on job paid training, y'all. That these companies know they're going to have to train a certain amount of Americans. They already know it.
Well,
It just depends on you going to show up.
somebody said, well, I recommend acquiring debt. Okay, this is how I look at it. If you're going to go buy an $80,000 Audi, why not put $80,000 into an education? You can't get something for nothing. You're going to have to spend money to get into, you're going to have to get in some kind of debt to make money. With the easy way of just saying, I'm going to get by and not getting any kind of debt is over. You can't do it. You're going to have to, even if you go to a tech school and they say the certification is $5,000, we'll pay for $25,000. You got to come up with $2,500. And most people, some people work for companies that'll pay for your whole bachelor's degree. They'll pay for your master's degree too. So you don't really, depending on the company you work for, you don't have to get into debt. Just ask them. Say, hey, I want to become more of a asset to the company, which you should do it. And then say, hey, well, you know, whatever I got to do to get the stuff done, I'll do it. But you have to invest in yourself. I'm $100,000+. I invested $100,000+ in student loans to get to where I'm at, and I don't regret one dime of it, because without the education, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So that's how I look at it. No risk without no reward. Yep.
There you go.
SQL. So SQL injection. Yeah.
Yeah. Sub-Zero class, if you want it, took me a year and 4 months while digitally studying every day. And here's the thing, people are used to, oh, just train on the job in 30 days. Listen, it don't work like that, right? Everywhere is not going to train you in 30 days and you're ready to go. We think that, but that's just not true, right? So tech is a huge umbrella. Everybody isn't getting fired. They sure are not. They out there on vacation, living their best life right now. All things Natalie said, you can start your own staffing agency, call center, supply chain companies, all that. And guess what? There'll always be somebody who will show up and get on them phones. There just always will be someone show up, get on them phones.
I'm a pretty technical person, but I've thought about this. Do you know one thing that a city has to get rid of? Trash. You know, if you have the right kind of money, you can get a trash truck and get a contract with a city. People don't realize a city cannot have trash sit around. Even though they may have a robotic arm that may come around to get the trash can, somebody has to drive that truck. I don't know how much. Waste Management is a $1 billion company in removing trash. Trash is a safety hazard. And when you drive through a neighborhood, look at all the trash cans, and they said, remember during the pandemic, Erica, they said we don't even have people to come get the trash.
Yeah. And they did a strike in New York, and they had to pay them in. They're like, dang, we got to pay them. Got to pay them.
You can't have trash. You can't have trash sitting around, and it's a serious health hazard. So everything doesn't require you to be in debt. I mean, mowing lawns. We got lazy people out here now, but you can go start a grass cutting service. I mean, the trash thing to me is just something that just sticks out to me.
Oh yeah, in the rural areas, they still are not connected to the cities. Like they still have companies that go around picking up trash.
Sherry said my trash like that.
Sherry said, "Don't be scared of the big tech layoffs. Some people weren't doing good jobs. They weren't." Brother Michael said, "Cybersecurity, computing, and automation." Erica and Dr. Dix telling no lies. Anybody at Afrotech conference? Y'all, Afrotech is going on right now in Austin, Texas. There's events happening all the rest of the week. I think I might be going to one event on Thursday. It's at lunchtime and there's one at night, but I'm not certain. I have a show on Thursday night. Yes, you have to invest in your development. You really do. Brandy out there hanging out in them streets at Afrotech. Y'all link up with her.
Yeah, y'all. Be safe. Be safe out there in them streets.
Austin mean streets of nothing. We be softies out here. Sub-Zero lifting the Veil Academy, $80K to $100K job offers. Yeah. How can we start our own call center? There's a young lady, I was going to bring her on the show. I'm going to see if she has time before the end of the year and she'll come on, but she has a whole course. I'm going to see if she has a Black Friday sale, so if I can get her on before then. But she has all the paperwork, the data, everything. She gives you what you need. National Labs will pay you $123,000 job and pay for your masters. Y'all, these companies, they want you. They want to say they got a trained staff. They want you. They want you in there. They want you educated. They're gonna hook you up.
Yeah, it makes them look good when they can pull down and say, "Oh, we have 5 Black people that have master's degree and we paid for them." They're like, "Hey, we're gonna give y'all more money." And what y'all think the company gonna try to do? Go get more people. But you have to ask. And just take the initiative on a lot of these things. And I saw the 3D print thing. There was a story last night. They're about to start 3D printing homes. I don't know if you saw that, Erica, but 3D
Mhm.
printing homes is coming into the forefront.
It's coming, but it won't be. It's so expensive and laborious to move those homes, and then like to cut into the walls. It's still kind of cheaper.
Mhm.
So until they figure out how to get it more, John Ditza, 4 years military, earns GI Bill worth 250,000 and a free VI, no money down home and other stuff. Yeah, people will do it. They'll still do it.
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
Orleans has problem with their trash. Let me see what else. Oh goodness, what else I got? These companies get tax deductions for paying for your education. Work for those benefits. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me see.
It's just how we're progressing. Everybody, the beautiful thing right now, and I express this to everybody. What a time to be alive in life. I know there's bad things. There is so much opportunity right now. You could write your own meal ticket if you have the skill set and willing to put the work in, because the world is slowly getting back straight. But right now there is so much opportunity. I don't care if you don't have a degree, if you just have a skill set, there is so much opportunity right now. You could write your own meal ticket. All you got to do is be willing to put the work in and follow what you need to do. And you give yourself 5 to 7 years, you might be a millionaire. I mean, I'm looking at stuff myself, I go online and look at land all the time, because I know there's
Mhm.
going to be some family out there that say, we can't afford them 30 acres with all them taxes. I said, y'all don't know the value of land, but being from
Mhm.
South Carolina, I know the value of it. I'll take it right off your hands. I go online looking, because you said, like, with people with the grandma done leaving them a house. Some people have been left 100 acres of land, and they don't realize all they got to do is pay $2,000 to $3,000 a year in taxes and put insurance on the pines. And they're
Mhm.
like, we're going to just sell it. I'm like, no, you don't sell land. They can't reproduce trees like that. They can't make more land.
Mhm.
Just hold on to it. So that's coming. Some poor old family or some young kids like living in LA said grandma didn't will them 150 acres. They're like, man, I'm going to sell my 75 acres. I need the money.
Because they want to
So,
stay out there. They said, Darren, where do you suggest acquiring tech certifications online? Man, they're all over. Man, Udemy. We have a Tech Tuesday playlist. We have people teaching it.
mhm.
I mean, again, uh, if you guys have questions and you want like some clarity, here's Dr. Dick's calendar in the chat. I also have it in the descriptions. Book some time
Yep.
with him. Talk with him. A lot of y'all have questions that he could really help you with. Dr. Dix, where can they find you on the internets and all over the interwebs?
They can find me at thecalendar.com/Dr. Dix. You can find me on Instagram at King of Automation, Dr. Patrick Dix on LinkedIn, and my website, the Dix Consulting Group. And on YouTube, you can find me on YouTube too, Dr. Patrick Dix, because I put videos up of a lot of the things I do. I'm pretty active on all of those platforms. So reach
Mm-hmm.
out to me. I'm more than willing to do a consultation with you to help you out, to see what I can do to get you on the right path.
Listen, you guys. Dr. Dix will be back next week. We have some more. Listen, we ain't trying to depress you for the holidays, but we got more tech automation stuff we got to talk about. There's some more stuff coming down the pipeline. You know why? Because we read the news and we know what's going to happen next week. Don't worry, it'll be coming. Some more stuff coming. Trust me, lots of great stuff. And again, some of the people in the chat, it's like 13,000 in 10 days split between two people, military tech training and zero certifications, not easy but possible. Network, there's a lot of people to talk to at Afrotech, all these places where you can get certifications. Definitely look this stuff up. Dr. Dix, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing us with the new hair. Next week I might have my new hair. I might get my hair braided back up again.
I'm going for the Drake look next, y'all.
Not the Drake. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Dix. Y'all hit Dr. Dix up. And if you could find him on LinkedIn. He is on LinkedIn. That's how we know y'all serious. Y'all got a picture of the face. We're going to help y'all with your LinkedIns. Anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Erica. Classy Climb. Later.